record on this computer. Okay, hey, we are now officially recording. You guys, it's already August 7th. I don't know how this happens. I feel like it happens all the time. I wake up and a week has gone by. Thank you, first of all, for Sandra Delbeck for covering for me last week for this. We were at a retirement party, a surprise retirement party, which, you know, I got to be on your toes for a surprise. It was very stressful. But so we are headed into a new week, and I just want to go over like what your plan is for the week. I'll tell you what my plan is for the week. I'll go through some of the many thoughts that go through my mind. You guys know I share probably too much of my thoughts on these power plans. But before we do anything, we are going to go directly to our cloud like we always do. We're going to start off. Well, if I can get there. Okay, we're going to start off in our cloud. My eyeballs are just worthless. They are worthless. They have officially checked out for the day, possibly for my life. I don't know. Okay, so on that very main page, we're going to find out what your rate of run is, which that just means what's your average, like what is your average activity per day that you and your team are doing. So head on down to the business snapshot where you see the little gray bar, click it so that the arrow open or like the whole menu kind of opens up for you. You'll see your green, orange, and gray. That's your PPA. Under that, you're going to see a box that says qualifications. Look for where it says current QB. Whatever that dollar amount is, you're going to put that in your calculator and you're going to divide it by 7 because we have had 7 whole days under our belt. So the number you're looking at is 7 days of you and your team promoting Thrive, as well as a auto ship day is in there. So you're now looking at a much smaller, excuse me, a much smaller number. You're going to take the smaller number, which is your daily average, and you're going to multiply it by 31 because August has 31 days. And you are now looking at a new, much larger number. This is the number that you and your team should end at if you stay on track. If you keep running at the rate that you're going right now for the first 7 days, and you stay at that pace, this is where you will end. Now, granted, we're going to have some more auto ships through there, so that could change. Maybe you're going to do a promo with your team. Maybe corporate's going to throw something out. I don't know. There's all kinds of variables. So this is not like a set in stone number, but this will help you realize, oh crap, I need to get it together. Or, hey, all the changes we made over the last 6 weeks are really starting to come to fruition. You guys all know June and July are tough months. I mean, we've talked about this on Power Plans. June and July, people are vacationing, they're having fun, they're relaxing. Now we're coming out of all of that. We're headed back to school. But so the mindset is finally back. Like the mindset for the human is like, okay, we're back. We got to get started on our new routines. I've lived it up all summer. My kids, you know, we got to start going to bed earlier so they can get up earlier. All the things that parents have to deal with back to school. And then even for like, I don't have kids, but there's just something about the change of seasons. Our days start getting shorter, which I absolutely hate. Like for me, it's my garden starts to come in. Like there's just your habits and your routines are going to start to change. So take advantage of that. Like, let's keep that in mind when we're talking about our social media this week and the upcoming weeks. Keep in mind that as the seasons start to change, and even if you live someplace like San Diego, where it's just beautiful and warm all the time, kids are going to go back to school. There are things that are going to be happening that are going to force people to start taking a look at how they've been living the last couple of months and how they want to live the next couple of months. August and September are a great time for people to make changes because a lot of people will mentally check out of the physical, you know, getting it together like late October because they're like, well, I'll start after Thanksgiving. I'll start taking care of myself after Christmas. Whereas Thrivers, we know you start doing it now and you have the best Thanksgiving and Christmas of your life, right? Because you feel good, you can deal with people, you can get all the stuff done. But the average human doesn't think that way. So that's your rate of run. While we are in the cloud, I hope I'm still in there. I'm not sure what happened here. I am. Okay. This time I want you to go to the very top again. You're going to go to the main menu. You want to get all the options to drop down for you. So you're going to go to where it says my team, and you're going to scroll down to the bottom of that group where it says my customers. Now it's going to populate it for you by customer number. So your newest customer is going to show up at the top. What I want you to do is scroll to the right all the way to the end until you see it says next auto ship. Click that box that says next auto ship twice. It's going to populate for you by date. You are now looking for anyone that has an 810 or an 815 next to their name. And I want you to, hopefully you have this ready. If not, maybe a sheet of paper or a Post-it note will do. I have mine. You should have your blank 54321 or whatever it is that you use. Like I know a lot of people just have their own system or their own notebook, whatever it is. I hope you have a blank page ready for Monday. And anyone that has an 810 next to their name, make sure you write their name down for Monday in the follow-up category. And then anybody that's at 815, I would say reach out to them by Wednesday, put their name in the Wednesday category. So I'm gonna let you do that right now because I'm also going to do that right now. This is sometimes when I turn in my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like at the end of the day, some people are like, well, how do you already have a reach out for Wednesday? It's only Monday. Like, well, I haven't actually talked to the person yet, but I know on Wednesday that's who I need to talk to. So you don't have to always be reactive. You can plan ahead on who you want to talk to. So again, we're just looking at our upcoming auto ships and we're writing the names down on our reach outs for follow-ups so that we come into contact with them before auto ship day. So that you're not sending that scattered message of, oh my gosh, your auto ship's going to run. I know it's 10 o'clock at night. If you don't change it by midnight or blah, 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 all that, I hate that moment. And the only reason I know that moment is because I've been there before. That's why it's so important to me on Power Plan that we go through this, because I've lived that life. I've also lived a life where you wake up and you're like, oh crap, there went an auto ship and I totally forgot to talk to her, and I can guarantee she's not going to want it or she's going to be mad, blah, blah, blah. I've eaten some auto ships in my lifetime, which when I say eaten, I mean, we use the product, so it's all okay, but I just try to avoid those situations at all costs. To me, I would rather be prepared versus scattering, right? Like trying to figure things out at the end. And if you're new and you just had that happen, hello, welcome to the club. You're amongst you're amongst some of the greatest around here. We've all done it. So, okay, so we have our auto ships figured out. We have our rate of run figured out. So now what I like to do is I start looking at my calendar. I'm going to give a shameless plug. I like to look at my calendar and write down all the Zooms or the trainings or the whatever the heck it is that I have going on personally that I'm responsible for hosting or streaming or whatever the heck you want to call it. And then I like to write down anything else that I also want to, like I know is maybe going to happen that day and I'd really like to get to it, but I don't have to, so I can always catch it as a replay, right? So shameless plug, tomorrow at 12:45 Eastern, I am your Lunch and Learn person, or Lunch and Grow, sorry. Or yeah, what, either way, it makes sense. I don't yet know what I'm going to talk about. So if you have suggestions, you can put them in the comments or message me. Thank you. Also, if you guys are in, those of you that are in boot camps, I know there's a lot of different boot camps going on now. I bet you have your own kind of schedule that you need to follow. Your regular team is going to have, most likely your team leader is going to have some sort of Zoom or call or live that they're going to do, a huddle, like everyone calls them something different. But when is that? Put it on your calendar now. So if you're like, but I can't do, like for a case in point, like Tammy, I'm not going to write your 12:45 Lunch and Grow on my calendar because I'm at work and I can't be there. Okay, well, let's think out of the box. Write it on your calendar anyway. Remind yourself it's happening. And then as you're leaving work and you check your calendar one more time, you're like, you know what, I can catch that replay on my way home. Right? But if you don't have it written down on the way home, you're probably going to turn on the radio or get on the phone with your girlfriend or whatever it is that you do on your drive home. And you might miss that opportunity to catch something that you could have got that day in the moment to feed your mind and feed your soul. You guys, I think we have so many trainings, so many. I don't expect everyone to catch them all. I don't think you have to sit there with a pen and paper in your hand to catch every word that is said. But when you have downtime, such as folding clothes, driving, cooking dinner, if you can feed your mind with good stuff that keeps you close to the fire, keeps you in the loop with your business, it will keep you on target. It will help you. There'll be a moment where something happens with the customer and somehow in the back of your brain, the files will roll and you'll be like, oh, I remember hearing this one time. Here's how I'm going to handle that. Or here's what I'm supposed to do. You just have to keep your brain on target. How many of you have taken a couple of days off of your business and then you got further and further and further away from it to where all of a sudden you're like, if I make a post today about Lavelle or Thrive, it's going to feel really weird because I haven't talked about it in like 4 days, right? You don't want to get in that mindset. You always want to have something dripping in, even if it's 10 minutes while you're taking a shower and you're listening to it from the bathroom, something in the daytime that brings you back to center for your business to keep your business on course, keep your brain on course. Rhonda says, I listen to most calls and trainings during drive time. Yes. For those of you with commutes, drive time is amazing. I don't really have a commute anymore, like I can walk, but even on my walk, I love to listen to my podcast or listen to a training. Granted, it's only like a 5-minute walk, but then it's 5 minutes home. There's 10 minutes I just snuck in, right? I just got that 10 minutes in. Whereas sure, I could have, I don't know, enjoyed nature or whatever for 10 minutes, but I'd rather get my brain in my business for 10 minutes. So, okay, so back to your calendar. So what is it you're responsible for? Are you talking on any Zooms this week? Are you doing any kind of training for your team this week? If you're not, how come? We'll throw that out there. If you're not, how come? Now, also, when I'm talking about your trainings and things for your team, you guys, I don't, and I know I said it, I don't just mean your Zooms or your StreamYards. Sonia, I'm going to use you as an example, which I know you're probably like, oh my gosh. Sonia has a group chat for all of her promoters. Some of her promoters are promoters, some of them are non-promoted promoters, but Sonia goes in that chat and she does product spotlights. She does company updates. She does promos if a promo drops. She does sometimes, like if something motivational has been shared in the group or something, she'll put that in her group chat. You guys, that's how you stay connected to your group. Even your non-promoting promoters, if you have them in some sort of, whether it's a chat or a group page or whatever it is, that's how you stay in front of them. She's not constantly calling them saying, hey, are you ordering this month? Hey, you got to meet your minimum this month. She's saying, oh my gosh, you guys, here's this product chill. Here's what it does. Here's what it looks like. Here's why I love it. Here's what people said about it. And then naturally in that group chat, conversation starts. Who's tried this? What's it taste like? Do you think it would help me with this? Like stuff will come from that. But if you're not putting that on your calendar and doing it, you are not going to do it. Okay, Radar is done with his ice cream. Tom is not home yet. He was supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. Sir, you're going to have to be quiet. It's about to get loud. I'm warning you now. I'll do my best. Okay, so make sure you have all that on your calendar because again, if it's on your calendar, you'll do it. If it's not on your calendar, you won't do it. So I'm actually going to turn off my mic. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to get your calendar ready. I'm going to get the dog set. I literally just took a handful of dog food and threw it on the kitchen floor and just set them out there. It might last 60 seconds. I have no idea. So we'll run with it. Okay, so we have our calendar down. So we know what we're doing. We know what we're responsible for. But now what would you like to do? Have you done a virtual local lately? Hold him. Yeah, I hear you. That's probably how it's going to end up, Sandra. Have you done a virtual local lately? Have you done a team huddle lately? Have you set up some sort of something reoccurring for your personal page or your team page or your stories? Do you have set days that you do sample offerings and you say your stories or your post? Think about these things and start like, okay, if I wake up Monday morning and I know on Monday, I got this lunch and grow and I have my team Zoom later today. And I decided that Monday is Make It Monday and I'm going to constantly be featuring a new lifestyle mix, or I'm going to interview somebody about how they make a smoothie. And again, just making stuff up. And I know that every Tuesday I'm going to do some sort of sample offering. And I know on Wednesdays, I'm going to talk about some sort of health related benefit of a particular vitamin. If I already know that going into my week goes a whole lot smoother. I don't know about you guys, but I need calendars to keep me straight. So for example, we have a customer group. That is the dog scratching the door, by the way. We have a customer group and I have a calendar that's right here and it's just for the customer group. And it says, okay, Tammy, on this day, you're in charge of this post. And the theme is like today, it was Set Up Sunday. That was my theme. I had to come up with a post about that theme. I already know that on August 31st, I'm in charge of Water Wednesday. And I know every day in between what my theme's going to be. I don't know what my post is yet. I don't have my graphic yet. I know what I'm in charge of and I know what I'm responsible for doing. So keep thinking about that. I'll be right back. All right, Lord have the mercy. I do have Radar with me now. Straight is, I'm so sorry. These dogs are bad. I actually had a dog trainer that came to our house twice a week for like, I forget how many weeks. And I swear they'll do anything she asks them to do. Anything. I ask them things like, could you sit for 2 minutes? And they can't do nothing for me. Oh, it's because I'm a bad dog mom. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're starting to know what you're responsible for, and you're starting to know what you want to start doing. So for example, you want to get more organized with how you're posting, or you want to get more organized with setting something up for your team page. Now it's going to make doing your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 so much easier, because I think the part that a lot of people get stuck on is that number 3, it's the social media post. What am I going to talk about today? What am I going to share today? Am I going to be in my stories? Should I make a reel? How am I going to do all of this? But if you have an idea of what your theme is, then you have more ability to be a little more creative. Also, let me think. Lisa was talking about how yesterday or today, she got a really great video of a hummingbird that she never gets to get a video of. And she knows right away that's something she wants to share as a reel. If you're already thinking ahead about things that you want to share, maybe Motivation Monday, and then you video yourself lunging down the driveway, or that Water Wednesday, maybe you come up with a couple of like ahead of time, right? Like we want to work smarter, not harder. You don't want to wait until it's 9:30 on a Tuesday night and you're like, dang, I got to get a reel done. What am I going to do? And then you got to set up ring lights and do all the things, right? Just if you already have in your mind a somewhat of a structure, what you're planning to do, you're going to find those moments during the day where like, oh, that's right. I was going to talk about, I don't know, what's a Thursday, Thriver Thursday. That's Flex Friday, Shine Saturday. I'm just looking at my stuff. Tip Tuesday. If I already know I'm going to start using Tip Tuesday and I come across a tip on a Sunday on, say, a TikTok or something, I'm like, oh, I can save it. I know I'm going to share that. Like I can already think about it versus being stressed out on Tip Tuesday going, what tip should I talk about today? I have no idea. Right. So if you have that structure, and again, you might have that calendar and you might be looking at it and it might have some blanks in it, but if it has a theme to the day or it has some sort of loose structure, it's a lot easier to get it done, say on your lunch break, when you're waiting in the car line for the kids, when you're waiting on the noodles to boil, like whatever it is you're doing, it's so much easier to fit that into those little pockets of the day if you've already thought about it. Yeah.
I'm just going to borrow a song from Danielle Hartman.
Okay.
Everything is content. Everything is content. That goes in my head all day long. And I see something and I put the video on and take it. So there you go.
Yes, that is exactly right. And so something that I changed too, the more we started doing reels, and I was really, I'm a picture taker by heart. Like as soon as my sister had her first kid, like you can ask him, I always have my camera out taking pictures of something. So I immediately I turned on the live photo option. So whether you're Apple or Android, you have an option to do live photos, which basically means when you go to take a photo of something, your camera is already, it's kind of freaky. Your camera is already picking up a second or two before and a second or two after the picture. And so you can actually go in and that picture, you can hit view the live photo or change the live photo. And it's a 5-second little video, 3 to 5 second, depending. Now you have taken the moment that maybe you forgot to video, but you did catch a picture of it. And you can start taking those little clips and making them into reels or making them into like putting them on your Facebook story. But again, everything you're doing in your life, even the boring stuff, you guys, that's who you are. That's part of your 5s most likely. And that's the stuff that we share so people can like, know, and trust us. If the only thing you share on your social media is you looking beautiful, going to dinner parties, and I don't know, like if you're not showing stuff like the kitchen sink is filthy, but I just got distracted by the hummingbird out my window. I don't know, like if you're not showing who you are, maybe you're not showing your dirty hands after you've dug in the garden. Maybe you're not showing your sweaty face after a workout. That's really the stuff you need to be showing. So to Lisa's point, everything is content. If you just boiled over the noodles for your spaghetti dinner and you have a mess all over the counter, before you clean it up, take a picture of it real quick or video it real quick. People will totally relate. Who on here was like, oh yeah, I've been there. I did that once. Or I learned that in college and I've never done it again. Like, you know, or who, in that case in point, like something so simple like that everyone will relate to. Do you know how many people will immediately start commenting like, oh my gosh, put a wooden spoon in it next time, put a little olive oil in it. People will start to tell you how to not have that happen again. And then suddenly they're giving you advice and now you're taking their advice and you guys are BFFs at that point. And guess what we do with our BFFs? We get them thriving with us. So again, I cannot stress enough how to take your calendar for the week. That's why we meet on Sunday, so you can think ahead. And I know it's been a little scattered and I'm sorry, but that's just life with this dog. If you can start getting some semi-structure to your week before your week starts, I've always said it, the dentist does not go in on a Monday morning and say, I wonder who's showing up today. They know exactly who's coming. They know what they're coming for. They know what time they're coming. They know how long it's going to take to get the procedure done that they're going to have done. they don't wing it, right? And this is your business. Don't wing it. Go into Monday knowing this is what I want to talk about tomorrow. And if tomorrow, every now and then I get these like bursts of creativity, which thank God, because some days I go 5 days with like not a thought in my head that's creative at all. So when I do get a burst, I will just start jot down notes. I can either do it by hand. Sometimes they're on my sheet. Sometimes they're on Post-it notes. Sometimes I will put them in the note section on my phone for a post. And then next week when I'm, dry and can't come up with anything, I can go back and see some of the ideas I had for a post. Sandra said I recycled a real REEL post yesterday, and holy moly, it's gone nuts. I cannot stress that enough. You guys, I am the queen of checking my Facebook memories every day, scrolling through. I cringe at some of the things. I giggle at some of the things. And some posts I'm like, dang, that was a good one. And I save it. And I wait a couple of days and I share it again. I might change the picture. Maybe it's a picture from 5 years ago and I don't look like that anymore. Maybe my hair is different, or maybe it was a picture in the winter and now this is summer. But if the words are good, if it's something I said and I meant it, I save that stuff and reuse it. Nobody remembers. You guys, I'm in charge of my own social media. I can't tell you what I posted yesterday or the day before. I don't remember exactly what I posted. A lot has happened since then. 24, 48 hours. I'm not sure. Did I put it on my stories? Did I make a post? Did I make it real? I know I did because I've checked it off my list, but I don't remember exactly what I did. So don't flatter yourself thinking I can't reuse this because I posted that a year ago and everyone's going to know. Honey, no one's going to know. Nobody is going to know. And if it was good and you meant it, it's all still your word. So it's all still good. Sonia said, I just show my sweaty self after mowing the yard. Yes. And how many people were having that moment today? It's Sunday. They had to get the yard work done and they're super, super sweaty. You still had a smile on your face when you were super sweaty though. And a lot of people didn't. Right. So again, that's showing who you are and what's going on in your life. And I feel like instead of trying to be social media content creators and uber fascinating and all the things, we can just think, okay, it's Sunday. I'm a middle-aged woman. I have a job. So what am I doing on Sunday? I'm probably food prepping, probably getting the laundry done, probably getting the yard mowed. That's what that's what other people are doing too. Talk about that because people understand. People get that. There's a lot of kids getting ready to go off to college right now. There's a lot of football teams getting started back up. We've actually had kids, at least on my feed, that are already back into school. So there's stuff that everyone else is dealing with. So the more you can be just like them, but also the person with that sticker on, the more they're going to start taking notice of you because you're not above them. You're not different than them, right? You are you, and you at one time were them. You were overwhelmed by these things and now you handle them better, right? Okay, so your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1's in front of you. We know our rate of run. You know your auto ships that are going out. And hopefully while we were talking about all these things for your calendar, you can now look at your calendar. I would love if you could be like, you know what, Tammy, every single day, 7 days this week, I have something on my calendar planned to either post, to share with my team, a training I know I'm going to be on, or like I said, if you have a team, do you have something on there where it's a training you're doing? If you have at least one thing, and you guys remember, these don't have to be 30 minutes or an hour long. You could literally hop on your team page or in Sonia's case, in her team chat, and she could do a 2-minute video. Hey, this is our new product. It's so good. It tastes like berries. I had it last night before bed and it didn't keep me awake. But whatever, just share what you're using, who you are, and what's going on in your world, but be consistent with it. And that's why you have to have that calendar. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm sorry for this guy, but he loves you all. Tell him bye, Radar. Bye guys. See you next week.